Hi everybody, Paul from Berwick Ford again. In this video we're going to be looking at the Sync 3 entertainment system that's in your car. For this purpose I'm going to be using a Ford Everest Trend. So I'll point out some of the differences on the different versions of Sync 3. And later in the video I'll also look at the Sync 3.2, which is now on the 2020 model cars. So this is the home screen of the Sync 3 entertainment system. So you can see down the bottom you've got all your shortcut buttons to take you through the different functions, and on the main screen you can see over to the left you've got the map for the navigation. Add device is actually where your Bluetooth phone will show up, and I'll show you how to pair a phone in a couple of minutes. And then at the top right hand corner is where you can choose your audio functions. So first of all, if we just sort of run through what's on the home screen. So if we go into navigation just by touching the map, so that will bring you to the display of the map itself. In a few seconds this bottom bar actually disappears, so you get a full screen view of the map, just like that. To bring it back up, simply hit the controls button and it reinstates the previous display option. To put a destination in, you literally hit the destination button and then it gives you a few different options of what you can choose to do. If you literally want to just search for a new address, hit the search button. It will take you to your keyboard, and the minute it's laid out in just an A to Z fashion, if you want to change it to a QWERTY, you press that bottom left globe button and then you choose the QWERTY keyboard, so it's just like what you've got on your phone. You can then just type in, as you can see at the top there, a full address, a point of interest, so in that example it's giving you parking, or just the name of a town. So if you just want to get to a generic point in a town, you can just type Berwick or Melbourne or something like that, whatever you need to get to. Now as you start typing, I'm going to put an address in here of our Jaguar dealership, which is just a couple of doors down from us. So as I've put in 751, you can see it's come up with a couple of options of roads that are local to me that start with 751. So rather than continue to type the full address, I can literally just hit this button here and it will pre-fill the rest of it for me. And all I've got to do now is just literally push the start button and it will start the navigation for me. The top left arrow there will take you back a screen, and if we keep pressing it, it takes us back to that menu there. Previous destinations are pretty obvious, they're places you've been before. You can also set up a home and a work address as favourites. So if they're regular things that you're going to use most days or quite often, you can store them in to use regularly. The only proviso I would do with that, with your home address, is don't put your house number in, because if someone steals your car, the first thing they'll do is look in there and they'll know exactly where you live. So maybe put a road just around the corner from where you live. Work, I think you're pretty safe, because if someone steals your car, I don't think they're going to go to your work, are they? Then you can also put more favourites in there, so if you've got places you go to regularly, you can put other destinations in there as well. They've also put down here some shortcuts to options that you might use on a regular basis. So for example, if we hit the food button, what it will actually do is look for local places to where you're actually situated, and then gives you obviously the name of the restaurant and the address and that type of thing. So if we press, for example, the Berwick Thai restaurant, there you go, so it brings up the full address of the place, and it's even got the telephone number as well. Now if your phone's connected via Bluetooth to the car, there'll also be an option to actually phone the phone number as well, which I think is quite handy. So potentially you could actually phone up to make a booking at a restaurant and then actually press the start button to give you directions to get there. Handy if you're on holiday. So if we go back, the next one along is diesel, so again quite a handy function, and what it will do is actually look for all the local surveys in your area and it even lists them by the brand name as well. So if you're someone who's got a fuel card through work and you need to find a particular fuel station, then it makes that a lot more easier to do. You can actually use your finger just to scroll through, so if you've got a particular brand favourite that you like, then it'll actually allow you to look through that as well. So if we come back again, you also got hotels, you've got cash machines. If we click on the See All button, it gives you some more categories as well. So if you were looking for somewhere to obviously park your car, maybe looking for a doctor's surgery, but then you can also swipe across as well, and you've got a few more options there. So there's actually quite a lot you can do with that category there. So that's all your options in terms of you know, finding a destination. Other buttons that you've got on here, the menu button allows you just to adjust some of the settings on the nav. You can change the screen view as well. So if we look at that, you can either have full map, or you can do like a split map. So you've got half map one side, and then the other side will bring up junctions and motorway exit information as well. If we come back again, the buttons that you can see on the top right, the top one actually changes your view of the map. So it's in 3D in direction of travel at the moment. If we press that again, that will go to north facing. So if you like having the direction of the map always north facing, you can use that option. If we press it again, that goes back to direction of travel, but as a bird's eye view. And then press it again, we've got direction of travel as a 3D view. That's my personal favourite, but obviously everyone's different. The plus and minus just below that just allows you to change the scale of the map. You can keep it on a constant distance, or you can press automatic and the system will actually zoom in and out as it needs to as you're driving along. So that's your sat-nav, which is actually, that's quite easy. If we press the home button at the top there, that brings us back to the home screen. The next option is your audio. So once you press that, that takes you into all your audio options. So we're currently on FM radio. We've got all our presets there just across the bottom. The preset button will take you further along that bar, and press again, and then press again takes you back to the beginning. You can turn on and off traffic information bulletins. You can put in a frequency for a radio station manually, or if you want to find another station, literally hit the stations button, it'll bring up all your local radio stations. You can just use your finger to scroll up until you find something that you like. So you just choose that and then it changes it for you. To change what you're actually listening to, you press the sources button and then it gives you the options of what you can actually listen to. So that's pretty straightforward. Now we can use these buttons down here to jump to different options rather than go back to the main menu. So if I hit the climate, because this car's got climate control, it actually replicates all the buttons up on the dashboard for you. So it stops you having to take your eyes off the road rather than sort of look down at the center console. So you can basically do everything on here that you can on the buttons down the dash, plus you've got a couple more functions. So if we just switch it on, we'll put it on lower fan setting, which is the one in the middle. You've got the temperatures both sides because this car's got the dual zone climate control. And then once you press the auto button, the car does everything for you. Just turn that fan down, that's going to be a little bit noisy. So with the auto function, it basically determines what the fan speed is, where the airflow goes, and what the temperature is to get to your chosen temperature. If you wanted to get the airflow to go somewhere manually, you can just press one of these three buttons just to sort of put the air on your feet or on your face, or whichever you want to do. You can also turn the air conditioning on and off. You've got your heated rear window, and then you've got your recirculation there as well to stop nasty smells coming into the car. Now, because this is an Everest, we've also got the rear air conditioning as well. So when we press that one, it allows us to turn the rear air conditioning on and off. You can also lock the rear air conditioning because there's controls in the back of the car. So it basically stops kids fiddling about with it and getting into arguments, which for any parents out there is an absolute godsend. You can alter the fan speed, and then you can also alter the temperature as well for the rear passengers. So if we come out of there, so that's the air conditioning system. The next one along is you've got Bluetooth. So to pair your Bluetooth phone to the Sync 3 system, you literally hit the Add Device button.
Search for your vehicle on your device and select it once it is found.
So then we go into the settings on your phone, go to Bluetooth, and then what you see here at the bottom, we've got Ford Everest.
Confirm that the pin displayed on sync matches the pin displayed on your device.
So you get the message there on the screen, so we press yes, we press pair on the mobile phone, we sync our contacts.
For your safety, please stay alert to changing road conditions and use Sync's voice-activated features while your vehicle is in motion.
So that's the phone connected. We can now download our contacts, just press the finish button. Now while it's doing that, when we go back to the screen where it shows your phone's connected, you press the little blue I next to the word connected, and then turn on the show notifications button. By doing this, when we go back into the phone menu now, it'll allow you to receive text messages whilst you're driving. So there you go, that phone's now set up. Being an iPhone, it allows you to use Siri as well, just by pressing the button there on the screen. It obviously brings over all your contacts as well. And there you go, they're all downloaded. If I show you just quickly back on the home screen what this all means. So it shows you the name of the phone that's connected. It shows you what your network signal is like, how much battery life you've got. And that's the emergency assistance system, the little star to tell you that it's switched on. So that's how you pair your phone up to the Sync 3 system. So mobile apps is the next one along. This isn't really used as much anymore because things like Spotify and Pandora that used to come up in that section, well, Pandora isn't available in Australia anymore, and Spotify is now switched over to Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. So that button is almost kind of redundant now. But if we come along to settings, so this is where you can actually choose your preferences for the whole system. You can adjust certain things, like the bass and the treble and the mid-range on your speakers. You can add additional Bluetooth sort of phone devices and that type of thing. So it's all fairly self-explanatory. So I don't want to go into too much detail because it'll be like teaching you to suck eggs. But there are a few important things that are on here you probably need to know about. If we look under general setting, so this is where you can do things like change the language from UK to Australian. You can change your measurements and you can change your temperature units as well. The other thing that's quite handy is you can turn off the beeps of the touchscreen, because if you're like me, it drives you bloody mad. But that's just me. If we come out of that and go back, we can actually swipe across again as well. And there's actually some handy bits and pieces on here that you do need to know about. The emergency assistance system is on every new Ford car. It's telling me I need to pair a phone. But what this system actually does is if your car's involved in an accident and one of the airbags is triggered or the fuel pump switch is off, it will actually make a phone call to emergency services for you. So police, fire and ambulance. So that's a really, really good system to have. And when it does that, it will send the coordinates from your sat-nav to the operator so they know exactly where you are. The next one along is automatic updates. So a bit like your mobile phone, the software on this system can be updated. So all you have to do is obviously make sure the automatic system updates is switched on, and then you go to the Wi-Fi and then available networks. So this is basically just like pairing your phone up to your Wi-Fi at home. So you can just find whatever your network is called. We can connect to this one. I previously put the password in, so this should hopefully just connect straight up for us. And there you go, we're connected to the Wi-Fi here at work. So now that's connected once, your automatic updates are live. So even if your car is switched off, the doors are locked, if an update comes through for the software, it will do it automatically, so you haven't got to think about it anymore. So that's actually a really handy feature. There's some bits and pieces there for Apple CarPlay as well, for preferences for that. That's popped up because I'm using an iPhone. You've then got an option to adjust camera settings on your vehicle. So you can have the enhanced park pilot, which is the lines, and a rear view camera delay means that it keeps the camera on for a few seconds after you've driven off. so you can actually still see what's behind you. With the display, it allows you to adjust things like the brightness. You can change the background. You can have auto dimming, so at night time it dims the display for you so it's not too bright. You can then also set up different things for your voice control as well. So there's an advanced mode, so it does different things. If you press the little information button, it will actually tell you what to do. The advanced mode basically removes some of the prompts to actually make the whole process a little bit quicker. So as you can see, it's actually quite an easy system to use, very similar to using your mobile phone. Now, a couple of things just to point out here on the home screen. You've obviously got the time in the middle and the outside temperature. This temperature here and here is actually displaying what your climate control is set at. So it's an easy sort of indicator as to what's going on now. That symbol is just telling you the traffic announcements is switched off, and the little Wi-Fi symbol just tells us that the sat-nav system is actually connected to Wi-Fi. So it's all quite easy and simple to use. So hopefully that's been a bit of a help in terms of using your Sync 3 system. So I'll now switch over to the Sync 3.2 just to give you a bit of an update if you're using a 2020 model car. So this is the Sync 3.2 system that's in the newer model cars in 2020. It looks pretty much the same as before. The font is slightly different, just a sort of slight change of colours and bits and pieces, and all the buttons do exactly the same down the bottom of the screen there. If you go into settings, there's actually one handy little feature though. So again, it's all the same, but if you swipe across a couple of screens, you've got this sync support button. If you press on there, it brings up a QR code that when you open your phone, when you open your camera on your phone, you can actually scan the code and it will take you to the Ford website that tells you how to operate Sync 3, which is quite handy. And then we just go back to the beginning, back to the home button. So there you are, that's Sync 3.2. Like I say, it's not very much different to Sync 3, just a slightly different layout from Sync 3. I'll give you a bit of a quick rundown of how to use Apple CarPlay as well. So all you literally got to do is plug in your cable to your phone and the USB socket in the car. Your phone, you'll normally get like a little pop-up message to say allow your phone to work when it's locked. So you just hit on that, and there you go, Apple CarPlay. I'm tipping most people would probably have used this by now, but it basically brings some of the functionality of your phone onto the screen, so it makes things much easier whilst you're driving. So yeah, you've got all your apps that will come over, or most of your apps will come over, but only things that are to do with driving. You've obviously got things like Spotify as well. So yeah, it's all your traditional sort of normal stuff. You can even swipe that way as well, so you've got a bit of a home screen as well. But yeah, so that's how you operate your Sync 3 system on your new Ford. If you've got any questions on anything, maybe I've missed something out, or you just want something to get a bit more information, feel free to leave some comments or questions below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. If you've enjoyed the video, give it a like, hit subscribe and the notification bell, and then you'll find out when the next video goes live. I look forward to seeing you in the next one.